Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. What if I told you the only thing standing between you and your next big opportunity is your voice? This isn't just another program. Empower Your Message is your ticket to becoming the podcast guest everyone wants. You'll learn how to craft a pitch that gets a hell yes, show up with unshakable confidence, and drop truth bombs that leave hosts and audiences wanting more. No more playing small. No more waiting for permission. It's your time to be heard. Loud, clear, and unforgettable. Visit the link in the show notes to sign up, and let's make your voice impossible to ignore. The mic is waiting. Are you ready? Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Tonia Chagnon. She is the founder and owner and president of Delightful Plans LLC, which is an industry-leading events firm. She's the NAWBO, National Association of Women Business Owners, virtual events coordinator, and the host of the National NAWBO podcast. Welcome, Tonia. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here. How are you today?
I'm so good. I've been looking forward just to getting to sit down and talk with you because you are just such a ray of sunshine, and I'm so excited.
Thank you. I received that, and I am very excited to have you here to share about all the beautiful light you put out into the world through the amazing work that you're doing, your story, your journey, and just be in your beautiful energy, because you too are a beautiful ray of sunshine. So I am so excited. So with that being said, let us jump right in.
Here we go.
I'm curious, first off, what was the spark that lit the fire for a career in event planning? Then, additionally, for branching out on your own and founding Delightful Plans LLC. And did you know in the moment it would become an industry leading, or it grew into that vision?
So my foray into event planning started, 29 years ago. I was working for a computer software company, and I was in their marketing department and doing my own thing, loving life, having fun. And all of a sudden, everyone comes running in. Tonia, our training coordinator just quit, and we need you to line up all these training sessions in all these states for all these dates. And I'm like, okay. And so I did it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I loved talking to the venues. I loved saying, no, that's not right. I want it for this much, not for that much. And just checking the boxes, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. They came back at the end of that week, and I said, all done. And they went, what? And I said, I'm all done. And they went, did you do it right? I've never done this before. I think so. Here, I created a sheet for each one, and here's all the details. Here's the contacts, And they went, oh. And I'm like, this is fun. Can I do this? They said, no one likes to do this job. And I went, I love this. It's so much fun. And they went, you're crazy. Sure. And I'm like, okay. So that was my introduction to event planning. And then I just
sorry, Tonia, so you were in another role. So did they just tack that role on to what you were doing? Yes, of course. They didn't let you just transition into that role specifically.
Yeah, no. And events is generally, in corporations, you'll see events a lot looped in with marketing, looped in with human resources, something like that, because nobody really knows where events falls, because it's a little bit of everything. It is a little bit of HR. It is a little bit of marketing. It is a little bit of logistics. It just is. And so I started doing events of different shapes and sizes, not really calling myself an event planner. I was working for a software company. And then when I had my first son and I made the choice to stay home, a friend of mine, she used to be my dad's assistant. She was working for Marriott Corporation. and doing their high level incentive trips for like the top 3% of their salespeople.
Okay.
And she's like, Tonia, I need help. And I said, okay. So we got to do this event for the echelon of Marriott on these sexy Marriott properties with no budget, and got to do all of the fun things that we had curated gifts dropped in each room each night. We had the best dinners possible. We had ice sculptures. We did an event in Cancun, and we had an ice sculpture with the event logo. And at the top, they would put the tequila and the makings for the margarita, and then it would go all the way through this sexy, super sexy ice sculpture. And you held your glass at the bottom, and there's your ice cold margarita all mixed together.
Look at that.
How fun is that?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I was doing that, and then I went and I worked for an event firm when after my second son was born. And I worked for that event firm for 12 years, 13 years. And then I went and worked for a marketing agency doing some project management for them, doing client events for them. And they did a reduction in force.
Okay.
And I was riffed. And so I came out and I was asking my friends, I'm like, so here's what just happened. I don't have anything else lined up. If there's anything that I can help you with, let me know. Happy just to do whatever until I get my next job. And they're like, okay. And within 2 weeks, I was at 65 hours of work a week.
Wow.
And I'm like, and so I got a couple of my friends together. I'm like, is this what I do? Am I hanging my own shingle? And they went, I think so. And I'm like, how do I do this? And so one of the best pieces of advice, and I still to this day give this to anyone who tells me that they want to start their own company, is find your personal board of directors. These are people that you trust implicitly, but you will never hire them. You get an attorney, you get an accountant, you get a coach, you get a marketing person, and you get someone that holds your feet to the fire. Any time that you have to make any big decisions in your company, you consult your personal board of directors. So my personal board of directors and I get together once a quarter. We talk all things Delightful Plans. When I rebranded, when I changed the company name, it all went through them. And yeah, we still meet once a quarter, and it'll be 10 years next year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. And so what did the world look like to you before you became an entrepreneur? And what shifted in you that made you refuse to play small?
So before I started my own company, I was known as everyone's right hand. Tonia is the best right hand you could ever have. She thinks before you think. She does. She's already doing what you're getting ready to ask her to do. And I was tired of being everybody's right hand. I didn't realize it at the time. And it's funny because probably 4 years ago, I was getting a headshot done. And the photographer told me, I am so proud of you. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And she told the other people that were in the room, Tonia was everyone's right hand. And she was a great right hand. She was amazing. And now she's her own person. And that hit me so deep. I'm my own person. I'm not someone else's person. I'm me. And so that hit me deep, that I get to be me, and I get to make sure that all things that I do is all me.
I love that. That's beautiful. What an incredible realization.
Yeah. And for somebody else to say that to me, for me to realize that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so right. And I try really hard with my team to say, if I'm wrong, I want you to call me on it. If you have an idea that's better than mine, tell me. If I have an idea that is just awful, tell me.
That's a good leader, though, Tonia. That's exactly what a good leader does.
Yeah. And I love it when they call me on it. No, we're not. And I'm like, tell me why. Because you're going to kill our design team. Okay, we won't do it like that. Let's scale it back and let's do it like this. Okay.
Let's rework that a little bit.
Exactly. But yeah, the first time they told me no, I was like, okay, let's figure out why. And my son, my youngest son, he's now 24, started working for me when he was 16. And the first time I had an idea and I ran up by him, and to see his little face go through all of the processes, and he says, so I'm now Delightful Plans, Ben. I'm not your son, Ben. And I'm like, go ahead, tell me no and tell me why.
I love it. But the willingness to listen to your team and to take their input, that speaks volumes as to who you are as an owner and as a leader.
Oh,
because that's what good leadership is.
Yeah.
It's the truth. That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Because most leaders just want to dictate, this is how we're doing it, and that's it. You are the embodiment of what a good leader is and does. So kudos to you for that.
You're amazing. Thank you.
I received that. Now, in an industry such as yours, where perfection and pressure collide, because events are high pressure, a lot of them, how do you lead with both excellence and humanity?
So Events' U.S. News and World Report put out a thing a couple years ago that events was one of the top most stressful jobs in the world. And I probably got sent that article by about 60 people. And I'm like, when it's events, I don't feel stress. I don't feel it. I feel stress when I'm 5 minutes late leaving my house and it's freaking me out because I'm going to disappoint somebody. But stress isn't something that I really feel. It's not something that I enjoy. One of my friends thrives off of stress. And I'm like, you are, nope, you do you, boo. That's not my world. And it's not something that I feel. Events to me are problem solving. And a client has a message that they want to get across and they're not sure how to do it. Let's figure that out. Let's sit down. Let's figure it out what you want to say and let's make that happen. So I love when we can problem solve. Our goal in any event that we do is to allow our clients to shine. So if something is happening, like a fire marshal not giving me a tent permit 10 minutes before my first guests arrive because I don't have exit signs on a tent with no walls. True story.
I figured.
It happened. And I was like, okay, we have 250 people arriving in 10 minutes. What can I do? And he's, you just need to put up an exit sign. And I'm like, okay. So we go look in our event box. I already had some that were printed and laminated. We stuck them on the posts and he's, okay, you're fine. So if there's something that's not allowing our clients to shine, figure out how we can fix that and let's make that happen.
Yeah, because that could have been an incredibly stressful situation. A lot of people would have been freaking out and pulling their hair out and how are we going to do this instead of remaining calm? Because when you're stressed and you're all overexcited, you're not thinking rationally. So you're not going to find the solution that quickly, as opposed to when you're calm, relaxed, and not stressed. Then you can clearly think, okay, what are we going to do here? How are we going to solve this problem?
Yeah.
And that's it. It's not easy to do in the moment, though, for a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think that's why there's probably not many event planners in the world, because that's what we do. We have to sit back, we have to think logically, and we have to figure it out. And we have to figure it out on the fly. I had one event, my DJ called us 45 minutes before the doors opened. She was in the emergency room having an emergency appendectomy.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. So got out my phone. Who can get here?
Yeah. That's it. Just keeping a calm, cool head in those situations. And because freaking out isn't going to solve the problem. It's
not going to get a
worse.
DJ there faster.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you see Delightful Plans shifting or shaping the industry in ways that go beyond just events?
So I love this question. One of my clients called me 5-6 months ago. I want to hire you, but I don't want to hire you to do events. Then what is it that you're hiring me to do? And he said, I want you, for lack of a better term, and again, remember, events fall under marketing, events fall under HR. For lack of a better term, I want you to do internal marketing for my company. We are getting ready to hit our busy season. I want my employees to know that I appreciate them, that I thank them, that I love them every single day. They are the reason why I sit in my seat. So during peak season, I want you doing something every single week that reminds my employees how much they mean to me.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. We did cheesy things, silly things, like a box of Swedish fish candy. Peak season is here. Just keep swimming. We will get through this together. And we went around and personally handed one to each employee. You would have thought that we gave them $100 bill. They were so excited. And so we just did silly stuff like that each week. And I was like, this is an event. This is a lot of creativity. This is execution. This is getting people excited. So I think with events and with anything that we do, making people feel appreciated, making people feel thanked, letting them know you're happy, that you're looking at their face. That's what we do.
Love it. Beautiful description. And so how do you balance being the visionary and the anchor for your team and clients when the stakes are super high?
So we've talked about this a little bit, but teamwork. In our company logo, we rebranded, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago. Okay. We have a chameleon in our logo because when we work with a company, we become part of their team. My team is wearing, if we're doing an outdoor event, we have shirts that are in their company colors. We don't wear Delightful Plans branded stuff. We wear their branded stuff. So we morph and we become part of that team. Problem solving. I walked up one time, my team was saying, how would Tonia fix this? Let's not go to her with it, but let's just see how she would fix it. And I stood back and I listened, and they were right. They came up with the right solution. And I don't like to do the same event twice.
Yeah.
I just don't. And they hate that. They hate that. We don't do cookie cutter events. If I do your gala 7 years in a row, that gala is going to look different
every year.
And there's going to be different aspects to it. And that's not their most favorite trait of mine that I have. And like I've said, they've also been given permission to tell me no. We will sit and we'll brainstorm. They will leave me be and give me time to swirl so I can just sit and think and figure out where that happy nugget is in between the client's vision and our vision and where that happy nugget lives. And if I go back to them and I'm like, okay, this is what I think, they've been given permission. No, secretly, I love it when they tell me no, because that makes me feel like it's our company, not my company.
Yeah.
They rein me in to ensure that I don't work our design team to death. And we all look out for each other.
I love that. That's what it's about, is giving every member on the team the ability to have input, to speak their minds, to share their thoughts, to share their visions, their ideas. Again, that is a good leader.
Thanks.
So there you go.
Thanks.
Now, of course, events are about creating unforgettable moments for the attendees. What is one unforgettable moment from your own life that you draw strength and wisdom from when things do get tough?
I had the honor, I had the privilege, I had the ability to volunteer for the Make-A-Wish Foundation for 16 years. A lot of my friends were, how can you do that? How, isn't it so sad? And I'm like, what do you mean, isn't it so sad? These precious, special souls, I get to take their face in my hand and say, tell me your biggest dream and let me make that happen. And how do you say no to that? And these kids, I loved it. 70% back in the day, 70% of the wishes that Make-A-Wish did were Disney wishes. But I loved it when they were outside of the box thinkers. I went to meet Bobby Labonte, a NASCAR racer back in the day. I went to meet, this is back in the day again, these little kids. I want to meet Barney. And if they were too sick to travel to meet Barney, how do we
bring Barney?
Yeah, how do we bring Barney in? And these families are going through the toughest of times, the absolute toughest of times. After their wish delivery was complete, when they would get back from their trip or 2 weeks after their playground was built in their backyard, we would always go back and circle back. How was everything? Tell me all about it. Seeing the absolute joy, and they're not worrying about medicine. They're not worrying about medical bills. They are talking about this absolute experience of a lifetime they just got, and they are doing nothing but watching their children glow with excitement.
What a beautiful gift that is to give to families, to people.
But I'm the one that received the gift.
Yep.
I'm the
Seeing
one.
the joy on their faces. Absolutely.
Yeah, like one little girl, gosh, she was probably the third wish that I ever granted. Wanted to go see Barney, couldn't. We bought them a new TV because she was watching Barney on a 13-inch black and white TV. We got her new bed linens, pajamas, clothes, stuffed animals. My roommate in college says, I love what you are doing. I think it's amazing, but please no more purple and green jets. And I'm like, and then he went with me because we had to take 2 cars to put everything in because we got them a new TV, we got them VCRs, we got them all of the movies, just all the things. And he went with me to deliver everything because I needed help. And he stayed and he said, oh, as much that needs to come in our house can, because it's amazing. And when she passed and we went to that service, we walked in and the mom and the dad ran to the back of the room. This is Tonia. She's the wish lady. She's the one who gave Rebecca.
The wish lady.
Yes. And they just started talking about all of the fun. And she was buried in her Barney pajamas. And just everybody started talking about all of the joy that was brought. And not talking about the fact that she wasn't there. And that is what gets me through a tough day. No matter how hard things are, you find the joy.
Yes.
You find the joy and you cling to the joy.
Absolutely. And there is joy in every tough moment. You just have to look for it.
Yep.
But it's there for sure.
Yep.
I love that. Thank you for sharing those stories. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Your company creates experiences for others. But what would you say has been one of the most life-changing experiences someone else has created for you?
This is a really hard question for me because it's just a really hard question. I have 2 boys. My oldest son was born on my birthday, so we have the same birthday. When my youngest was in late elementary, early middle school, he worked with our neighbor and made us breakfast, made us lunch, made us dinner, made us cupcakes. And he sat down, bless his little heart, sat down at the end of, ooh, that's a precursor. He's now in the culinary world. Maybe that started something.
Look at that.
He sits
Squirrel,
down at
squirrel.
the end. I know, sparkle. He sat down at the end of the day, puts a big sigh out, kicks his feet up, and he says, it is so stressful being the only one in the house without a birthday today. I just need to let you know. And whenever I need a laugh or I need a giggle, that is the story that comes to my brain the quickest.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that one as well. What myth do you want to disrupt or dismantle in your industry that others are too afraid to talk about or touch?
In my brain, that is, events can be different. You can do a 5K run differently each year. You can do a conference and you can build in me time, because a lot of, especially business owners, if you're taking time to go away for a conference, you want to take time to actually breathe and relax a little bit. You can do that, and that's okay. You can do a different gala each year. You can put different effects to it. It is always possible to add a new factor to a repeating event.
Okay, beautiful. In your view, what separates a good event from a truly transformative one?
The length of time people talk about it afterwards.
I wasn't expecting that answer. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I did one gala a few years ago, and when people refer me from that event, oh, she did this for us 6 years ago. We stopped doing galas after that, but she did this. And it was amazing. And I'm like, it is 6 years later and they're still talking about it.
That's powerful to create a memory for someone, for a group of people like that. That is powerful. Sorry, you were going to say.
One of the taglines for my company is believing in the power of wow.
I love it.
And I was in a networking event and we had to come up with a verb for our company. And the realtor said selling. And I'm like, no, I need to do more. So I did wow. And they said, wow's not a verb. I'm like, if you go in someplace and your jaw drops to the floor and you have no words, how do you describe that? And they went, we were wowed. It's a verb. I'm like, yep, totally a verb. That is the verb in my company.
I love that.
Totally a verb.
It sure is. It definitely is. You wow people. That's it.
Yep.
How do you make sure your events don't just gather people, but they galvanize them?
Connection. Allowing people the opportunity to meet and to bond, if it's over something silly, if it's over something sad, but allowing them that opportunity it's magic.
Because that's everything. Magic. Connection is everything. It is absolutely everything. That's what we're here to do, is to connect with others, to share, to be in and of service to one another, community, collaboration, all of these things. It all ties in.
Yep.
Love it. Now, events are obviously more than just logistics. They're emotional architecture. How do you intentionally design moments that linger in people's hearts long after the doors shut, the lights go down, and move on?
You tell the story. We're storytellers. That's what we are. We're storytellers. We give people the opportunity to feel the story through pictures, through posters, through written word. We have the speakers share their story, make sure the right points are getting made in that. And then we allow the attendees to create their own story around the story that's been shared.
Love it. Storytelling is key. We've been doing it for centuries. Storytelling, I think and believe, is the fabric of our society. That's how we connect.
And look at what you and I are doing right here.
Exactly.
You came on my podcast and did it, and now it's my turn.
Yeah, exactly. Stories are everything. And it's very important for me to point out that everyone does have a story. I don't care who you are. You have multiple stories, and you need to share those stories because those create connection. Those help people. They impact people's lives. And that's part of what we're here to do as human beings, is to impact other human beings.
Do you remember what you said to me when you asked me to be on your podcast? What I said to you?
I know, if memory serves correctly, you were hesitant about being a guest. You didn't.
Oh, absolutely.
You didn't want to. And you said something along those lines of, what do I have to share?
I share everybody else's story. No one's ever asked me to share mine.
There you go. And you do have a story. And here we are finally sharing your story.
Here we are.
And I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that reminder.
Thank you. Yes, and thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, my pleasure. So what would you say is one of, if not the most important secret ingredient most people overlook when they're trying to create an unforgettable experience?
For me, it's making sure that my client's signature is on the event. I do not want every single event to look like a Delightful Plans event. Every event that we do is our client's event. It's not ours. So we make sure that our client's signature is all throughout that event.
I love that. It ties it being in and of service. This is it. It's about them. It's shining a light on them.
Putting them in the spotlight, not me.
You're just the facilitator.
Yeah.
And the creator. I love it. Love that. Because not a lot of people think that way. So it's nice. It's a beautiful perspective to hear. I love it. I think it's incredible.
Thanks.
How do you measure success? I think you've already answered this, but I'm going to ask it anyways. How do you measure success for an event beyond attendance and applause?
The talk afterwards.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yep.
Now, I want to dive into the NAWBO stuff a little bit here now. You are also the National Association of Women Business Owners virtual event coordinator and podcast host. When you look at the women showing up at NAWBO events, what patterns or common threads do you see in their courage, leadership, and growth?
I love the NAWBO members. It's such a strong community. These women, even if they don't believe it, are bold. They're brave. You have to be to start your own business. That is not something that is done by the weak of heart. They have ideas. They have stories. They have like minds.
Yeah.
One of the members, she describes NAWBO as NAWBO is the place that you as a women business owner can go and talk about your trials, talk about your tribulations. You can't talk to your family about it because they're so tired probably of hearing about it anyway. If your friends aren't business owners, they have no idea what it is that you're speaking about. NAWBO is that community where you can go and you can let your guard down. You can show your weaknesses because there's other members who have been through that. And they are so willing to help you get through that journey and get to the other side of that trial.
Love it. Virtual events have now become, since COVID, a stage for global connection, of course, as we all know. How do you design experiences that make people feel something real through a screen?
I don't use a script. I don't use a script. When we're doing things, I tell my speakers, I'm letting you introduce yourself because you know the story that you want to convey. When I have guests on my podcast, Brad, I did this with you. You tell me the questions you want me to ask you so we can make sure that your story is being conveyed properly. We always include personal tidbits because no matter how big of a subject matter expert you are, you're human.
Yeah.
And we want to know the human side of you as well. And we allow people the opportunity to connect. One of the things that's different about virtual events than in-person events is there's not that emergent need to exchange a business card. You actually have to ask the questions to get to know each other.
Elation.
And I love that.
Yes.
I love that. So it's building that community. It's building that relationship, building that foundation. Because especially women, we refer and we use people we know and trust. And once you have that foundation of trust built, there you go.
Yeah, you're
That's
set.
who you go to all the time.
Humanity. It's the humanity piece. It's the humaning. And you said the quiet part out loud. No script.
No script.
Just forget I said that.
Yeah, I know nothing. No.
What do you think virtual events have taught us about connection and community that in-person gatherings could never do?
It's breaking boundaries. Like one of my clients, we met during COVID when everything was virtual. She hired me to do her virtual conference that year. We worked together for a year and a half, almost 2 years before we ever met in person. I knew her. I loved her. I adored her. I had no idea she was over 6 feet tall. And she had no idea that I was 5.5 feet. And of course, the day that I met her, she was in heels, I was in flats. It was just even that, but it didn't matter because we already were part of each other's worlds and we already adored each other.
Yeah.
Because like when you date someone long distance, you get to know each other deeply much more quickly.
Yeah.
Because you have to have those long phone conversations. Virtual events is the same thing. You have to have those connection statements because you're not in person and you can't do it together.
Yeah, you connect on a whole other level, for sure, before you even meet in person, if you ever meet in person.
And that's with NAWBO, when we get together once a year, every other year, it is one of the things I enjoy the most is sitting back and watching the ladies see each other when they haven't seen each other for a year.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun. is just so much fun because NAWBO is all over the country.
Yeah.
And so you see everybody starting to get excited on the chat boards and everything. And I can't wait. I can't wait. And you see them all in their teal outfits and jewelry and shoes and everything. And then you just see all the hugs and you see the joy. They got to know each other virtually.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Do you find, though, in my journey through the work that I do, I've had a feeling, and I find that I think people are now more starting to crave that in-person connection, that in-person touch. They're needing it more for sure. And that's not to take anything away from virtual, because virtual has been amazing because it's initiated that contact with people all over the world, which is great. That's where it starts. But are you seeing the same thing in your journey?
Oh, yeah. People definitely enjoy in person, but because we've connected, like one of the virtual events I do, we have ladies on there from Scotland and Greece and where else? Turkey. I had someone from Turkey, and we can't afford to see them every month.
Yeah, exactly. Do you see that dwindling, the virtual side of events dwindling away a little bit more, or do you see it staying relatively the same and on an equal playing field with the in-person because of exactly what you were just saying? I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
I think it depends. I think it definitely depends on the time of year. Winter, people are going to be hunkered down.
Yeah.
So they will participate more in virtual events then. During the summer when it's lovely outside, they're not going to participate as much. Right. So it depends on the outside world and what's happening in the outside world. If there's here right now, it's 73 degrees. There's a wind blowing. There's no humidity. If I were to be having a virtual event right now, I would have 2 people on the screen with me because everybody wants to be outside in the beautiful weather. Right. But sometimes kids get in the way of you being able to go out to a lunch meeting, but we can do that virtually.
Makes sense. Okay. Now, if you could completely reinvent how women's events are done, throwing out the rule book completely, and you don't strike me as someone who follows the rule book anyways, but what bold new format do you think you would create?
I would build in more coffee hour time.
Okay.
I would build in more happy hour time. I would build in downtime because people get together to get together.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure that we are allowing them the space and the ability to gather.
Beautiful.
And conferences are so focused on cramming as much education in as they possibly can. They're forgetting about that gathering part.
Very true.
And I just went to a meeting planners conference last week, and there was a lot of content. A lot. It was a single day conference. A lot of content. But they ended the day with team building activities. And it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. So people need to remember the gather.
I remember I was at an event in Las Vegas back in 2023, and the last day of it was a 3-day event, and the last day of the conference, what they did, and this is all they did, was they had 6 chairs at the front on the stage, and it was like hot seat. People were jumping in and out and sharing their takeaways from the conference, their experience as entrepreneurs. And that, I thought, that hit me like that. I've never seen that before. And that was an incredibly powerful way to end an event. That's that creates memories. They even had a fishbowl with questions from people that wanted to ask questions of the speakers that were there, but audience members could also hop up and share their experiences. And that's what creates memories, is things like that. I think that is one of the most brilliant ways to end a conference, is sharing people's takeaways. That provides connection.
And allowing your attendees to be seen and heard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
I love it. Yeah.
How has holding the mic and hearing so many women's stories, now we're talking about your podcasting role, reshaped your perspective on leadership and entrepreneurship?
It gives me faith and gives me confidence when I need it. If I screwed something up, I'm not the first one to make that mistake. I'm not the first one to have a bad day. I love having the opportunity to say, let's learn from each other.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry you had that trip, but thank you for telling me where it was and how to avoid having it as well.
That's what it's about, is sharing our struggles so that others may not have to go through the same struggles. I don't know about you, but I was just telling a friend this morning, I had an interview earlier this morning, and this woman is a more happiness coach. And so she goes she goes into corporations and teaches the leadership about happiness and how important happiness is to leadership. Anyway, the conversation was amazing, just as this one is. And I got off that call and I thought, this is so fucking incredible that I get to speak to these women, and it amps me up. It lights me up. It sets my soul on fire that I'm here talking with you about your passion and what you're doing, and shining a light on the work that you're doing, and just engaging in this meaningful, thought-provoking, inspirational conversation. This is what it's about, is having meaningful conversations that make a difference in people's lives.
And getting to share stories.
It's fucking everything.
It's everything. It is the cherry on top. It is absolutely, positively everything.
It is.
Because stories are the stitches that put us together. And we get to make our own quilt out of everybody's stories.
I love that. So I love this, Tonia. This is everything. It really is. It creates such joy and happiness in my world when I get to do this and share in these stories and be invited into the spaces. What an honor that is. As a podcast host, you know how that feels to facilitate holding space and creating a platform to share in someone's story. That is so intimate and so personal.
And to have someone come up and say, "Can I be on your podcast?" I feel like I'm 6 years old again, and my friend is asking if she can come over to my house and play, because it's just the greatest thing in the entire universe. And that's what we get to do. Yeah. Clearly, I've already admitted that I don't have a formal bone in my body, and it is structured like we're sitting around a table with a drink of our choice in front of us and having a conversation and becoming close friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I remember
that's what we get to do.
I remember when I first started out with the podcast, and I would be doing my discovery calls, and people were nervous about getting on a podcast for the first time, or that being their first time or their first few times. I would always say to them, there's no reason to be nervous. This is just me you're talking to. Just picture it as two friends sitting down to have a drink together, and we're just chatting, coffee, whatever it is you want, your drink of choice. And we're just two friends connecting and chatting. We're talking about you. There's nothing scary about that. We're talking about you.
I'd rather talk about anybody else other than me.
I think you're doing an amazing job. And there you go. But that's what it is. It's just about creating a space where people feel comfortable, and then sharing in their journey and their story, and shining the light on them, giving the stage to them to share their story and to take inspiration from.
Yeah, because it's just like some of my guests I now talk to once a week.
There you go. It's creating connection.
Yeah, they'll call me just to check in. Or, Tonia, I'm having a really bad day. I'm like, really? Here, let me tell you something really funny.
Yeah.
And like the amount of people now that I get text from, can you just send me a dog picture or a silly meme? Absolutely, I've got you.
It's that connection piece, that community.
Yeah.
What would you say, through the women that you've interviewed and being part of NAWBO, what has been one of the biggest misconceptions that you've seen or heard that people have about women at the helm of multi-million-dollar businesses?
That these women are not bitches. Because most people think in order for a woman to be that successful, there is no way that she has friends. She steps on people. She is only looking out for herself. She's not looking out for anyone else. The women that I have met that are the most successful are kind. They are compassionate. They listen to their employees, and they know when somebody's just having a tough day. And you can be successful and you can be kind. It's not one or the other. You can do both.
Beautiful. I love that. As the host of the national platform, what responsibility do you feel when you're curating conversations that represent women across industries and generations?
That their stories are told, that their voices are heard. I want stories of all shapes and sizes and flavors. I want fun ones. I want tough ones. I want sad ones. I want scary ones. They're all important. Just because you feel like you don't have a successful story, your story is still important. You still have feet on the planet. You get to breathe. You get to blink. And in my world, you get to be heard. And we get to give them that platform in which to do it.
I love it. And that really, when you think about it, when you break it down, it's pretty simple. That's really a basic human need, is to be seen and heard. That's all we want. And that's not asking too much.
That's not asking too much.
And so to be able to give that, for me, to be able to give that space and that platform to women is such a gift. And it is such an honor to be able to do that.
Yes. And I'm going off script.
That's okay. We don't have a script.
I got to break the rules and throw the rule book out, as we talked about previously. Yeah. And you were the first male guest on our NAWBO podcast.
Yes.
And you were our first international guest on the NAWBO podcast.
Yes, I remember that. And what an honor that was to be that. Again, I go back to, really, you want to have me as the first male guest? I think that too, right? I go through those things too. It's like, really, me?
And your listeners know, who better? Who better?
It was an absolute honor and a pleasure to plant that flag, to have that honor and to have that title of being the first male guest and the first international male guest. So thank you so much again for that incredible opportunity.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I smiled for the rest of the day after that podcast recording.
It was a great conversation, just as this one is here, having you on.
Yes.
Now we've flipped the script and you're on the other side of the mic, and I love this, and you're doing amazing. I'm loving it. It's a great conversation. So speaking of NAWBO, how do you see your role with NAWBO tying into the work that you do with Delightful Plans? Are they two separate lanes or part of the same highway?
Yes.
Both?
Yes.
Just yes.
They are definitely two separate lanes. When with any client, when I'm with NAWBO, I'm all NAWBO. I don't talk about Delightful Plans.
Right.
But it's still my brain. It's still my heart. It's still me.
Yeah.
And so two separate lanes, but they converge because it's just me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
You're the common denominator. Okay.
So, yes.
If you could pass the mic to the next generation of women leaders, what conversations do you think they need to be having that we're not having enough of today?
This is such a hard question. I think going behind the curtain, letting these young ladies know you're going to fail. Life is not Instagram. Life is not a highlight reel. Life has real in it, and the real is ugly.
R-E-A-L, not R-E-E-L.
Exactly. And life is ugly, but you find your inner circle and you lean on them. And one of the lessons I taught my boys as they were growing up, it takes more strength to ask for help than it does to not.
For sure.
And when my youngest son came home from college and he's, Mom, I need help. Okay, there's no better place to do that than here. Let's sit down. Let's figure it all out. And I'm proud of you.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm proud of you because it's silly that uttering the words, I need help, is so hard to do. And I want this younger generation to know it's okay. Everyone needs help.
Yeah.
No matter how successful you are, you still need help. And you can need help in a big way or you can need help in a small way, but it's okay.
I'm going to take it a step further and say that through my conversation, through what I've seen, it's a lot harder for women to do that than it is
Oh,
for
yeah.
men. So I think this is a very important message to relay to the women, is that it's okay to ask for help. We need to
It's
normalize that asking for
Yeah.
help is okay. It's a sign of strength, actually.
Yeah. And it's funny because I injured my thumb a couple weeks ago and my best friend called me and she said, "Do you need help?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good." And she's seriously. And so she saw me the other night and she's, "Girl, I'm coming over and we're going to fix your hair." And I'm like, "Okay, thanks. That would be lovely." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's okay to ask for
Yes.
help. It's hard. It's one of the hardest things that you have to do. But even if it's small help, even if it's silly help, can you please come help me blow dry my hair?"
Yeah.
It's help.
Yeah.
And it shows people that you trust them, that you're trusting them to help you when you're weak. And it's okay to do.
Yeah. We need to normalize
It's
that
okay to
for
do.
sure. And we do that through conversations like this, talking about it and letting people know that it is okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you imagine the future of women's leadership in business, what role do you think events and podcasts play in making sure women's voices don't just echo, but they roar?
It's what we've been talking about this entire time. We get to allow them to tell their story in their words. We get to throw the script away. We get to share their story. We get to go in their proverbial closet and look at their business skills and share their nuggets of wisdom with the universe. And that's what these things get to do.
Yeah, beautiful. Tonia, what do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
So, I'm just me. In the meeting planners conference that I was in, we all sat around a table. We did roundtable talks.
Okay.
And it wasn't assigned. It's just something that happened. We started talking with each other about what we thought their superpower was. And I was told that my superpower is creativity, creative thinking. And I'll accept that. I'll go with that. I'll own that. Yeah, creativity. Okay. We're going with that one.
All right. I love it. Now, speaking of success, how do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
Looking at myself in the mirror and being proud of myself each day.
It's not always easy, though. At least for me, anyways.
It is not. And on days that it's tough, you're not going to have success every single day. On those days that it's tough, I have an Add a Girl folder in my nightstand. And any nice emails, any great reviews that I've gotten from clients, I print them out and I keep them in that folder. And if I've had a really tough day, if I just think that I suck, I pull that folder out and I read it.
I love that idea. Ladies listening to this, take a page from Tonia's book and create your Add a Girl folder so that you have that when you do have rough days, because we all have them. We all go through them.
We all have them.
And I think that's an incredible idea, to file those things away and keep them for those days when you need that boost and that reminder of just how fucking awesome you are.
Yeah, because it's hard. Nobody wants to admit that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to admit that they rock. Every single one of us rock. We are all incredible. We are all amazing. And sometimes you just need to be reminded of that.
For sure.
And it's okay to remind yourself that you're incredible.
I love that. And own it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's your cutest, most sparkly pair of shoes. Own it. Own it. Own it.
Thank you very much for that. That's a beautiful gift to give to the women listening to the podcast. Create your Add a Girl folder. I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. And another thing that I have started doing just recently, a friend of mine told me, she's like, "I want you to do this." She's a holistic doctor. I have some chronic pain that I deal with. And she's like, "I want you to do this. And it will help get the negative energy out of your body and help with that chronic pain." And I'm like, okay. And it worked. And I'm sold. And I still do this, even though I don't have my chronic pain anymore. She said, go out, get an ugly journal. Even if it's like a brown steno pad, something that you don't care about. I want you every night to write down every single negative thought that you have about yourself. I also want you to go out and get a big, huge black marker. Every night, I want you to write all of the negative thoughts that you have about yourself. Then I want you to take that black marker and I want you to cover over that page so you can't go back and reread it. You get that negative energy, get those negative thoughts out of your system, and your chronic pain will go away. And I'm like, okay, thinking there's no way. 4 days.
Wow.
4 days. And this was 3.5 weeks ago.
Holy shit. That is powerful.
And I don't want the pain to come back, so I still do it.
Amazing. I love that. Thank you for both of those tips. Those are great tips, Tonia.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing those.
Yeah.
What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Advance, moving forward.
Okay. Plain and simple, just moving forward. Okay.
Yeah. If you're not empowered, especially on those bad days, you can't move forward. For my 40th birthday, I treated myself to a tattoo, and it is a frog because frogs can only move forwards. Frogs can't move backwards. And frogs can only look ahead. Frogs can't look back.
Wow. I did not know that. A teaching experience.
Look at that.
I'm learning today.
Look at that.
Learning all sorts today. I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to me, empowerment embodies a frog.
Love it. Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be
Here
1,
we go.
2, 3 word answers.
Okay.
What is your favorite place on earth?
Water.
What is your secret or hidden talent?
Making people feel welcome.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Smile.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Ice cream. It's a food group.
I just had ice cream last night. There's a dairy place up in Northern Ontario, and they make the best ice cream. And it's a little more on the expensive side because it's real ice cream.
Right.
And so
That's why it's a guilty pleasure.
I had 2 containers. I didn't eat 2 containers. I'm saying I had 2 different types. I mean,
it's okay if you do.
No, that would not be good. I mixed together salted caramel truffle and death by chocolate. And it was so fucking good.
See, mine is chocolate and peanut butter.
They have a chocolate and peanut butter mixture from Kawartha Dairy's ice cream.
But it can't be chocolate ice cream. See, this is where I get to be all. Here in the States, we have Cold Stone, and you could go in and just make your own. Yeah. And so I get the peanut butter cup perfection because it's got peanut butter, it's got chocolate, it's got chopped up Reese cups in it. But they do it with chocolate ice cream. And I'm like, no, that's too much. I'm vanilla ice cream. And so we do just the normal cream ice cream and then put all the stuff with extra peanut butter. Yeah, extra peanut butter.
I
peanut
love my death by chocolate. Oh my God. I just discovered that flavor like a week ago. I just love it.
Amazing.
Anyway.
My son brought home a dessert from work and it was a chocolate layer cake. And I'm like, if you ever have extra, bring it home. It's all good.
Bring it home to mama. All right, let's get back to this. We got sidetracked there. One word that sums up your mindset.
Caring.
One book that changed your life.
The one, it's awful that I can't pull it, by Mitch Albom about the last dinner guest.
I'm not sure. Don't know it.
It's really good.
Okay. What is one word that defines the woman that you're becoming?
Evolving.
Beautiful. That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I created a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time.
Oh, fantastic news.
What is one habit, ritual, or practice that has been a game changer in your personal growth?
That weird getting all of the negative stuff out of my head and out of my system and then blacking it out so I can't go back and reread it.
Beautiful.
Like, to me, the blacking out part of it is the real key.
Yeah.
Because if you're having a bad day, human nature, you're going to go back and look at all the horrible things that you think and all the horrible things that you've done. But this erases that from your ability.
Is there a time limit that you're supposed to write those things down? Did she tell you take 5 minutes before you go to bed or take 5 minutes at night and write down things?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay. That's a lot of shit to write down.
And it's no more than 15 minutes. So if you can get it all out in 2 minutes, fantastic.
Yeah.
But don't dwell on it for more than 15.
There you go. A little update for that tip.
Exactly.
If you were to introduce yourself to me without mentioning your occupation, where you're from, your religion, your nationality, your ethnicity, where you grew up, all of these superficial day-to-day bullshit markers that we use, how would you introduce yourself to me?
I would say, hi, Brad. I'm Tonia. Tell me about your day and how can I help?
Beautiful. If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
Probably about my kids and my dog.
Okay. Tell us about your kids and your dog.
Probably about my kids, my dog. I have 2 boys, 26 and 24. My oldest is out in California, way too far away, and does not give me proof of life frequently enough. And my youngest is here with me. We just recently moved in with my mom to help her out a little bit. And when I told him what we were doing, he said, if you didn't volunteer that, I would have. And then we rescued a dog. Gosh, August. Wow. 2 years ago. And she's all things silly and lovely and big. She's 70 pounds, but believes that she weighs 5 pounds and knows for a fact that she's a lap dog.
What kind of dog is she?
She's a mix. So we actually had her DNA because the rescue told me she was a mix of these 3 things. The vet said she was a mix of these completely 3 other things. And so we just had her DNA done, and she's a mix of 15 different breeds.
Wow.
And it's so cool. It's so cool because the DNA company that my vet used says she's this. Her mom is probably these breeds. Her dad was probably these breeds. Mom's parents were probably this. Dad's parents were probably this. And I'm like, that's so cool because, and her top 3 are bully, so pit bull. We'll get back to that in a minute. And beagle and Great Pyrenees. Okay. So she's a mess. She's brindle. So she's striped. But I want to get back because when you say her number 1 was pit bull, a lot of people hesitate. Yeah. My mom's 13-pound cat scares my dog.
She's a baby.
When Scamp hisses at her, Reno cannot back up quickly enough and hides behind me.
So she's a big suck. I love it.
Yes.
Tonia, if you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
Living?
Doesn't matter.
If I would do Princess Diana.
Okay. And why?
Because she is the first woman that it struck a chord with me on how much she was breaking the norm, how much she was carving her own path, and how much she wanted to protect her family.
Okay. She is a beautiful soul doing incredible work in the world and taken far too soon from this world, for sure.
Yes. Yes. How one of the things I love about her the most is she wanted to talk about her philanthropy work before she wanted to talk about any of her royal duties.
Yep. Yeah, that shit was secondary. It didn't really matter to her. It was about the impact she was creating and having in the world.
The giving heart.
For sure. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Listen to your inner voice. It is much smarter than you give it credit for.
Love that. Lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your tribe, your people, your corner of the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
Buy the concert tickets, eat the ice cream, wear the outfit, and always smile.
Love it. Beautiful way to end the interview. Tonia, this has been such a fucking blast. I've loved every minute of our conversation. It's such an honor and a pleasure to have had the opportunity to sit down and share in your story and your journey and for you inviting me in to share on that with you. I've enjoyed every minute of this conversation. You are a beautiful, bright light in this world doing amazing things to help women. And it has just been such a pleasure chatting with you. I'm honored to call you a friend and to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. Thank you for taking and making the time to be here with me today.
You are amazing, and I want to take every single kind word that you said to me and say right back at you. You just bring joy. You just bring joy. And you make people smile. You force them to, even when they're nervous. And it's just fantastic. And you're sunshine.
Thank you. I received that and appreciate that. Yes. And I appreciate you, Tonia. Thank you so much for being here. It was such a fun, amazing, laugh-filled, inspiring conversation. You are a beautiful, bright light in this world, too.
Oh, thanks. And thank you for encouraging me to turn this silly microphone around.
My pleasure. I'm glad I could get you to do that. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Tonia Chagnon. She is the founder and owner and president of Delightful Plans LLC, which is an industry-leading events firm. She's also the NAWBO National Virtual Events Coordinator and the host of the National NAWBO podcast. Thank you so much, Tonia. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.